Alright ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another Hero House Reviews. Today we're looking at Mcfarlane Toys Warhammer 40K Ultramarine's Primaris Assault Intercessor. Oh, that's a mouthful. Warhammer 40K Ultramarine, and let's just get this out of the way. This figure looks fantastic. In terms of the aesthetic, Mcfarlane is just killing it at the moment. I mean, the sculpt alone is so good on so many components. And then the paint job. I mean, you can get an unpainted version because obviously that's, part of the appeal of Warhammer 40k. You can paint your own figurine and then, make your army. But with these guys, you get them pre-painted and they are huge. These are big, big figures, especially for what you're paying. Do I have a Marvel Legend handy? Yeah, let's go with Trusty Jack. As you can see, Jack is tiny beside the dude. Hold on, let's just... Yeah, Jack is a little baby, which suits, an Ultramarine, because he is an Ultramarine, so he should be a big boy. Let's get Jack out of there. Let's bring in the Predator for scale. Predator's a little bit taller, but as you can see, Ultramarine has a bit more bulk to him, and is slightly cheaper as well, but he doesn't come with as many accessories. So, in terms of value for money, he's definitely a really, really good figure, and there's so much heft to him. I mean, this is a chunky boy on top of everything else as well. Yeah, quite pleased with this dude. Let's get in there, examine the sculpt. As you can see, that's just fantastic. Fantastic sculpt work if my camera decides to focus again. There we go. The chainsword is sadly not really painted well, but the rest of his armor is... It's just spectacular. He looks spectacular. The gun is also not painted very much. The backpack comes unattached. You have to put it on yourself, but that takes no effort. And it too looks amazing. The back of him looks amazing. Just a really, really visually striking and impressive figure. Mcfarlane knocks it out of the park when it comes to sculpt. I mean, this is such an improvement on that Doom guy we got. That Doom guy was so shit. I mean, now that you see these things, you just realize what a half-assed effort he was from what they were capable of putting out, which is a shame. But this figure is not perfect. So his articulation is restricted, and that's disappointing because with the Azrael, which is still like a contender for Figure of the Year, and I was thinking this might well be, in that same sort of echelon if they were as thoughtful about its articulation. They haven't been. So he has double-jointed elbows. And bring that up. So you can get a little bit more than 90 degrees. Just a tad more. Is that even 90 degrees? It's hard to tell with the shoulder pad. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, definitely. But the shoulder pads are floaty, loose pieces, so you can adjust them, but you still can't get a full 90-degree angle from the arms, which is a shame. The head, Azrael had that floating part in there, so the hood didn't hamper his movement. They haven't used that here. It would have been so well done and so, easy to implement, but they haven't done it, so you've got really restricted head movement, in fact, almost none at all. You can go from side to side, but you have no up or down, and very little attitude, as people would say. Diaphragm joint is good in the chest, so gets lots of juicy movement there. It's probably his most useful joint. What's this? Forearm swivel. It's all bicep swivel, and then you've got some wrist swivel, but the wrists are not on a hinge. And the knee... is that a double knee joint? It's hampered by... No. Yes? No, and I don't want to push it. But you do get more than 90 degrees from the knee. Come in, foot comes up that much, and then down that much. So, and you've got no pivot, really. And very little thigh swivel and no shin swivel. So the legs are not super well articulated at all. In fact, he is just not super well articulated. For what he is, see, when he zoomed in like that, this figure looks amazing, absolutely stunning. And he moves functionally enough for what you'll sort of want him doing. But he's just a big old step back when you consider what Azrael could do. So I'm having trouble sort of categorizing that articulation, because it's obvious they've been valuing the sculpt of this guy more. But he just looks magnificent. I'm having so much fun just posing him here. Where do I rank him? And getting him to hold the sword. The sword is like a classic issue of not understanding materials. So his hands are very, very hard plastic, but his sword is made of a soft, floppy plastic. So when you try and get him to grip the sword handle just bends away from his much firmer fingers. It's just basic science and physics. So it's poorly done. So getting him to like hold that sword and getting that sword into his hand was an absolute bitch of a thing. Really loved the design. Not hugely into Warhammer 40k. I've ordered one of the books on Amazon to read because I want to get into it, and this figure I thought would launch me into it by being fantastic. But since he's got these slight issues, he's more sort of raised questions. He still is good. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. He needs to be better articulated to get that 5 out of 5. But that is because Mcfarlane has set themselves a high, high standard with that Azrael, and I want them to implement it on this line, because if we could have this level of sculpt with Azrael's level of articulation and, you know, innovations in articulation, this would have been Figure of the Year, because look at that majesty. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Really, really impressed. Just improve the articulation, guys, and yeah, you're going to have one hell of a line. Alright, let's do some pictures and wrap this up. One sec. And there you have it, folks. The Mcfarlane Toys Warhammer 40K Ultramarine. Taking pictures of him was so easy. Like, getting good pictures can be one of the hardest parts of doing these reviews. Like, because they won't stand or that sort of thing. Or it's like hard to find the right angle. There is no angle from which this guy doesn't look absolutely amazing. So much love, care, and attention has been put into this sculpt. The lack of articulation is a shame, but he is genuinely a beautiful, beautiful action figure. Like, this is artwork. Again, like Azrael was artwork. This is artwork. Mcfarlane Toys are producing the most artistically gorgeous, aesthetically gorgeous figures of basically any line or any company I can think of. Even the higher end companies like Figure Arts, Storm Collectibles, their figures do not look as good. They do not have as much care put into their general appearance, at least with the really good Mcfarlane figures. I mean, they do have some turds, but when they are on point, they are on point, and they are on point for a much cheaper price point. So definitely think of investing in the Mcfarlane line, because if they can keep moving forward, if they can keep getting figures this beautiful and then as well articulated and innovative as Azrael, if they could meld those two things going forward, they will be the best figure company there is, basically, because for the price you can get this guy, you will get something from one of the higher ends that just doesn't look as good and doesn't move better or have as much bulk to justify it. Like, this guy was marginally more expensive than a Marvel Legends, and just the difference in quality is jaw-dropping. 4 out of 5. The articulation is so limited, not so limited, he still moves, but the articulation is limited enough that I can't call him perfect, and the sword thing really bugged me. But yeah, he is a really strong step forward, and I do strongly recommend picking him up. So yeah, let's leave that there, and basically very, very impressed. Might even pick up the Necron Warrior. Definitely going to pick up some Warhammer 40k books, because I want to know the backstory behind these guys. I mean, goddamn, look at that sculpt. That is so cool. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more, we have plenty of content. We have loads of reviews. We have figure fights. We have Hero House. We have the Wreckers, which, as I said last review, will hopefully be airing again sometime soon. Working on it. Mostly have 5, filmed. It's just editing it with the new laptop. So, hopefully things move forward. Thank you for your time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again. All the best. Bye.